Hello, I am Jody Wolf. You're watching Expoz on October 23, 2015, 12:45 a.m. in Birmingham. And here's another biblical principle that's in the Bible for a very good reason. And it's to help you, just as the last blogger did when Jesus said, if you don't have a sword, then sell your clothes and buy a sword. He's telling you to protect yourself. If he were here today and among us, he'd probably be an NRA member. But here's another thing that not only did Jesus teach self-defense, but a fool sees what's coming but doesn't prepare. That's in Romans 14:6. We all see what's coming from every angle. And we see it coming from the Schmitah, the stock market. We see the signs all around us that, look, everything's about to break loose. But again, only a fool that sees these things coming and they do not prepare for it is crazy. I guess that's why he's called a fool. But a man that sees it coming and prepares, he's doing what the Bible says to do. In Romans 14, verse 6, he's doing exactly what the Bible says to do. You see what's on the horizon, you see it coming, you know what you've been through, and you know what comes next. Be prepared. Get yourself ready to try to tough it out through the time you're going to go through. Clearly, Romans 14:6 says just that. And also in Jesus, when he said, look, if you don't have a sword, then you sell your clothes and go buy you a sword. That's Luke 22:36. I'm going to try to give a real quick rundown on what happened to this country. And a lot of people say, well, we didn't have a big deal on the Schmitah. Wrong. We had a real big deal. And not only us, but I'll give you a rundown on who did. The Harbinger and the Schmitah did hit. And you have heard so very little about it. So you assume that it didn't hurt America or any other country. The fact is that over a month, America, Wall Street, lost more points than you think, as China and as Europe did. We had America, the 10th largest stock market point crash ever, and then we had the 8th largest stock market point crash ever. And then we had the greatest intraday collapse in history of 1,000 points. And it recovered somewhat from that 1,000, but it went down to 1,000. So we had over 30 days the worst crash in stock market history in this country. And you know what? I hadn't even got to the rest of them yet. So we had lost over 2,000 points. That's including the recovering of the 1,000-point loss for one day. So the trickle down was 2,000 points. China, the world's engine, lost 40% of its market. That was China's worst disaster in their history. 4,000 points in India, their worst in history. 12,000 points in Brazil, their worst in history. And then again, extracting the 1,000-point drop in one day in America, because over half of it was recovered, we still lost $2 trillion. And the world during the Schmitah lost a total of $11 trillion. And everybody thinks, well, no, nothing big happened. Well, that's because they hadn't told you. 1966, we had a similar severe drop. 1973, 7 years later, the same. 1980, the same. 1987, the same. In fact, they called that one the Black Monday. And then 1994, the same. 2001, the same. 2008, the same. And in 2015, the same. But this one was worse than all of them. Stock market crash. Why does it happen? Why did it happen? Go back to 1966 and then look at remove prayer from schools. They kind of coincide just about on the same day, certainly in the same year. Look at 1973 and then look at Roe versus Wade. Wow, just so happened they're right in the same era there. And then look at just recently, gay rights no longer stand with Israel. That's just 2 of them. Not counting taking down the statues like they did in Oklahoma the other day. They had the 10 Commandments. Not counting the 10 Commandments that has been taken out of the Alabama Capitol building. Plus all over the rest of this country. Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. If that were America, the entire country will be in food lines today. Well, that's just about to happen, guys. God's grace was still with us. But this is in no way restores America, because we haven't done anything to turn anything around and come back to God. So our restoration will not take place. Now let's go to Britain. Wiped out 16% of their market. Schmitah. Wiped out 18% of the French market. Schmitah. How many things do you think you can hear? And they all happened on the very time period that the Schmitah said they'd happen. All of them. So tell me that not much happened. Well, the world took a hit that will take a very long time to recover from. So I just wanted to tell you that the stock market and the Schmitah kicked our butts in a major way, and it's not done. Jody Wolf Expoz.